Hey everyone, this is Matt with Kerfuffle Pens. Today I'm working on finishing up a Purple Heart pen. Purple Heart is a very cool wood if you've never seen it before. The outside of the tree looks like any other tree, but once you cut it open, the inside of it is this dark, rich purple. It's a very dense wood. It's very difficult to work with if you don't have the right tools, of course. But let me show you what I'm working on, and then hopefully you can see the finished pen later today on social media. This is the pen right here. As you can see, I'm just about done with it. It has this really cool purplish color to it. Once it's finished, it will look much brighter, much more appealing. But right now, I'm going to show you just kind of the last stages of turning this pen. Because it is such a dense hardwood, I do it at a little bit of a higher volume or higher rotation speed. And you can see when I turn it, very little wood shavings are coming up off of it. I don't even know if it's visible on the camera. But it's not much shavings because it's such a dense wood. In the past, I've turned this with a regular high-speed steel blade, like one of these. But what I find is that because it's such a hard wood, it does not turn very nicely, so I have to use this ultra-sharp carbide blade on it. Very carefully because even with the carbide blade, I've had the wood shatter on me a few times. Which is very frustrating when you're this close to being done. Pieces right here, these silver pieces, are called bushings, and they look like spacers to keep the pen away from these parts, but actually what they are is they show me how big the pen parts that I'm going to connect this to are, so I can shape the pen perfectly and have it the right size for the pen kit that I'm using. Most of the time it's best practice to get the wood at this where it meets the bushing the same exact shape. Sometimes I go a little smaller, sometimes I go a little bigger depending on what I'm trying to do. Because this will have a finish on it, I want to get it as close to the bushing as possible. And usually what I used to do is I used to make my pens kind of fat in the middle. But what I'm finding is they look so much more nice. They look terrible English. You would never guess I was an English teacher. They look a lot nicer when they're skinnier and I've just been kind of trying to get them as skinny as possible when I've been making them lately. I just like the look of it a lot more. But of course that also comes with a danger too, right? Like the skinnier it gets, the less wood you have to work with, the more likely it is to break. So it's kind of a give and take. How skinny do I want it versus how much do I want to not destroy the pen? You got to be really careful if you're ever working with a carbide blade. Don't touch it. It'll cut right through your finger. I've had enough of that in my life. I don't need any more. Oh. I don't know if you could hear that, but it sounded like maybe a chip came out of this. Oh, yep. Tiny little one. That is nothing that I can't fix when I sand it, though. And that's what stage we're at. Got my sanding pad. Get it wet. Turn the speed down a little. Just to start. You can see when you first start sanding it, the wood gets this really nice dark color to it. That is approximate to what it'll look like once it's finished. It'll be a little bit brighter. Going over that spot where I had that tiny chip. I don't want that to show through in the final product. So one of the nice things about woodworking is many times you can fix your mistakes before you get to the final product. And I'm wet sanding it. That removes kind of the sawdust as you go. Probably should have cleaned up my mess there before I started, but too late for that now. I'm gonna up the speed a bit. I don't know if you can hear the change in cadence once the speed gets ramped up. You can also see some of the dirt coming right off of it. I can't feel that chip in there at all now. That's awesome. Exactly what I was hoping for. Max speed. I think we're good. All right. This pen will be done pretty soon. Be on the lookout for it on Facebook or Etsy. Thanks, everyone.